All right, how's it going, guys? This is Brad with Best Price Nutrition. You can check out our website, BestPriceNutrition.com. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, check out our social media, and when you go to our website, be sure to sign up for our email newsletter list deal where you could see all of the upcoming sales we have going on, giveaways, newest products, all that good stuff. Today, I'm going to go over what we have kind of figured out to be probably the best PCT for women. We had a woman call in the other day who was asking about PCTs, and she did have a lot of very good questions, and we kind of thought about it, and we're like, you know what about Harmonize from Blackstone Labs? And we looked at it, and we think that this is probably going to be the best option for a PCT for women. So normally, when you're taking a prohormone, you're going to be increasing anabolic hormones and possibly decreasing your natural testosterone and maybe increasing your estrogen, which all makes sense for a man, and there's all things that you can do to mitigate these effects. But when it comes to a woman, it's kind of a harder thing to do because it's almost inverse of everything that you want. Generally, women don't want a ton of testosterone because of the masculinizing features. They don't want to crush their estrogen. They need a lot of estrogen. And their natural testosterone, they don't want none, but, it can be low. It already is kind of low. So for a woman, if you're taking a prohormone cycle or whatever the case may be, you may be raising your testosterone and possibly crushing your estrogen. If you're taking a rimestane, you could probably just let your body do what it wants to do with estrogen. I'm not an expert on that. I don't really know. But as far as prohormones, when you're done, you really don't want to take something like a Rimaplex because that is going to crush your estrogen. And I don't mean like crushing to the ground, but it's going to lower your estrogen, and it's going to have natural test booster in it too. So those aren't really things that you want as a woman. You probably want something that's more just going to optimize your hormones, right? Which is where Harmonize comes in. That's kind of what the whole point of Harmonize was. So looking at Harmonize, it is by Blackstone Labs. The front of the bottle, I don't have the bottle with me right now, so I just printed it out. It says, hormone balancing, weight management, skin and complexion, mood enhancing. The middle two, I'm not really concerned about for this video, the weight management and the skin and complexion. I don't think that really matters for this. It's cool to have it in there, but that's not really the main goal. Usually what women may experience if they're doing prohormones and they're coming off and they're trying to bounce back, they may have a drop of libido, they may have a lack of energy, and they may have like mood dips, which is pretty common for, guys and girls coming off, but there's different ways of going about it to get it back up. So what's in Harmonize? There is maca, there is PEA, which is beta phenethylamine, there is turmeric, macunapurians, which turns into L-DOPA, which crosses your blood-brain barrier, whereas dopamine doesn't. Opidium extract, which standardizes to icarin, which is the thing in horny goatweed. Damiana extract, which is kind of a weird one. It does a lot of stuff, but there's some cool effects to it. Sodium nitrate, which I assume is in there for the nitrates, which is going to help with blood flow for maybe sex reasons. And then there is a rimestane in there, like the chemical name of it is androsta 3,5-DN 717-dione. And then, so the reason that a rimestane is in there, I specifically reached out to Blackstone to understand why, because I thought, you wouldn't want to necessarily lower your estrogen too much as a woman. And their reasoning was that it is in there at such a small amount, since it's the last ingredient, it's not going to really lower your estrogen. It's really just going to help get rid of some water weight and possibly lower your cortisol. So that's why that's in there. So as far as the maca, maca is really good for improving your libido. For some reason, it seems to work better in women than men, although there's studies that show improvements in both, but it really helps with women a lot. So to me, I think that's kind of the equivalent of fenugreek for men, where fenugreek won't actually raise your testosterone, but it does give you the feeling of higher testosterone in the form of an increased libido, which for dudes, if you're getting older, or if you're coming off of a cycle of something and you just have no libido, it can be pretty depressing, as weird as it sounds. If you don't have a libido, that's kind of like, evolutionarily, that is the whole point that we're here, right? To reproduce. And if you don't have the drive for that, it can really be depressing. So taking maca, if you don't have a sex drive, which is what libido is, could increase it, which is going to be a big help. Next, PEA. That is going to be more of a mood enhancer. It is a stimulant, so this isn't really something you'd want to take right before bed. PEA is short-lived. Because it gets broken down by an enzyme in your body really quickly. There is something you could take to prolong it, But I don't think that this is really what this is going for. I don't think this is trying to be a fat burner or anything. I think this is just trying to give you like a temporary mood boost, kind of feel good. Where again, if you are depressed from coming off cycle, maybe just a little something might be what you're looking for. The turmeric, I didn't really get. I guess that's for the skin effects. I looked it up. It can have some skin effects in there. Again, that's not really what I care about for this video. The mecunopurians is actually awesome. I know I said earlier. So the difference between dopamine and L-DOPA, they're going to be very similar, but L-DOPA can cross your blood-brain barrier, whereas dopamine can't. I think dopamine has to turn into L-DOPA, so the fact that mecunopurians turns into L-DOPA is just a straight shot, and dopamine obviously is going to make you feel good. Again, if you are depressed from coming off cycle, that's kind of what all of this is going for. It's going to help your mood, help your hormones get balanced out. You can kind of see where all this is going. The Damiana extract is actually an aphrodisiac. I don't know if, who knows if that's real. I don't really believe in that. I think maybe it could. I don't know. I haven't really listened to PubMed stuff, but that is what it's known for. And then the Icarin, that is the stuff that's in horny goat weed, but from here it comes from epimedium extract. I don't know. And that, improves mood. And the other two cool things I saw about that, protects your brain and heart health. But, overall, a lot of guys will use horny goat weed for libido and I think possibly ED function. So it may help with, blood flow, which it may if it's heart health. So if it improves blood flow, that could help with ED. For women, maybe just more blood flow can go to certain areas and help stimulate some things. Like I know Viagra, you can take it as a woman in a smaller dose. I don't know how much, but it actually can have effects for you. Sodium nitrate, again, I think that's a blood flow thing. And then the arimistane we went over. So as you can see, it's a little bit of a different way of going about a PCT, why it makes more sense for a woman. It's not so heavily going to crush all your hormones. Your hormones are still going to get back at kind of the same amount of time, but it's going to help mitigate the effects of possibly having low testosterone or low estrogen or whatever the case may be from your cycle. This is going to help you feel better while your body is getting itself back to homeostasis. And again, this is really more so for prohormones. I don't know what you would take as a woman if you're fully taking like test and tren and shit. But again, if you're taking testosterone and trenbolone, you probably are past the point of trying to keep some sort of the reason that some steroids and prohormones are for women or for men, whatever the case may be, it's not really that they're for them. It's that a lot of women, when they're going down the path of taking prohormones or steroids, whatever the case, they don't want the effects of, the jawline coming through really hard, hair growth, and large genital features. A lot of women don't want that. Some don't care, and that's fine. It's your body, do whatever you want. But most women don't want those, so they will choose things like of prohormones, taking Decabolin, a 19-norm nandrolone. That's going to be probably the best thing you could do because it's very low on the androgenic rating. Or taking actual oxandrolone Anavar as a woman, very low on the androgenic rating. So there are things that you can take to, reduce the risk of those masculinizing effects. But that's also where you want to take a PCT to get back to normal. But if you're taking stuff like full-on testosterone as a woman, I've never heard of a woman taking tren, but I'm sure they do. If you're taking all of this crazy strong stuff as a woman, you're probably beyond the point of trying to preserve some of that stuff. Good for you. Do whatever you want to do. Get huge. I don't give a shit. But, if you're trying to not blast all the time and try to keep some of those features, do a PCT like this. Just do short cycles of stuff. You should see the effects you want to see. And then as far as stacks, we kind of figured out Harmonize would be a really good PCT last week. We put some stacks together. On our website right now, there's the Beauty and the Bulk Anavar stack for women, which is Anavar and Harmonize. And then a quick side note, the Anavar from High Tech Pharmaceuticals versus oxandrolone Anavar. Oxandrolone Anavar is generally for cutting. You could use it however you want, but most people use it for cutting, or women will use it. Anavar from High Tech is probably going to be more of a bulking situation because there is going to be some testosterone conversion in there, so keep that in mind. This is going to be a bulking stack. And then there is a Ultimate Women's Prohormone stack with PCT, which is Anavar, Decabolin, and Harmonize. So for both of these stacks, you take the prohormones, whether it's just Anavar and Decabolin, and then afterward, take your cycle of Harmonize. And if you're trying to, we don't really have one right here. We probably should make one. If you're just trying to do a cutting stack as a woman, and when I say stack, I just mean whatever, more than one thing. Decabolin is going to be really good. Followed up with Harmonize. Boom. That's perfect. That's pretty much all you're going to need. And then on the bottle of Harmonize, I thought it was strange. I think it's on the back or something like that. It says female only product. I think men could use this. I don't think they'd want to use this because it's a pink bottle and dudes are afraid of that stuff. But guys actually can use this. I assume it's going to be smaller doses of everything since, usually the body weight of men to women is quite different. But guys, if you want to use this, I mean, if you want an aphrodisiac, if you want something to improve your mood, L-Dopa, if you want all that stuff, go for it. There's actually better PCTs, but if you just want like a mood booster type deal, this will probably be really good. And then additionally, look at the reviews that we have on our website and Blackstone has on theirs, and even competitor sites, I don't care. Look up the reviews for this stuff. The reviews are actually awesome. They're surprising, the benefits and stuff that people get. It's really worth a look to see what other women see and what they experience from these. I'm a guy, so even if I took this, if I gave you an anecdotal review of what I felt, wouldn't really mean much because I'm not a girl. So if you go on these reviews and see what girls have taken and what they liked by it, I think you'd be really surprised at all of the benefits and positivities that come from it. So again, this whole video is to say, if you're a woman and you're doing a Prohormone that we sell on our site, consider Harmonize for your PCT as opposed to something harsher like a Rimaplex. Both will work, but Harmonize is just geared towards women. It really is going to be more so what you're looking for. However long your cycle is, 1 month of Harmonize is probably good. If you've been crushing Prohormones for a long time, maybe do 2 months, but you should be good with 1 month. And then as far as how to take it, it's 120 capsules, 4 capsules is a serving. I don't see the exact directions, but I assume either take 4 in the morning or 2 in the morning, 2 at night. That's probably the best way to do something like this. Or actually, no, you wouldn't want to do 2 at night because of the PEA. So take 4 earlier in the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave us a comment or shoot us an email or give us a call, and we'll be happy to help you out. All right, thanks.